Pani Gupta. It is the season. The season of one Congress statement after another grabbing headlines for often the wrong reasons. Over the past few weeks, in fact just in the month of December, we've been discussing several such statements from the likes of new Congress chief Mallikarjun Kharge to former Congress chief Rahul Gandhi himself and the impact these utterances could have. This time, Congress leader Salman Khurshid has sparked a row. If Kharge by now famously likened Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Ravan just before Gujarat polling, Khurshid has now hailed Rahul Gandhi as Ram. BJP hit back, accusing the Congress of crossing a line and hurting religious sentiment in what it claimed was a bid to do Parivar Bhakti. For a party that mocks Modi Bhakts day in day out, is this not an attempt to also create a Bhakt-type following for Rahul? With temple visits timed before elections, Congress has often been accused in the past of peddling soft Hindutva. Is this another such attempt by the same leader, mind you, who wrote in a book that Hindutva is like Boko Haram and ISIS? Remember, Rahul Gandhi himself is the proponent of the theory that Hinduism and Hindutva are two very different things. With this hodgepodge of views over Hinduism and Hindu causes, will calling Rahul Ram do the trick? Will this be enough to woo Hindu voters if that's the attempt? We'll take those questions to our guests in just a bit. Let me first break down the war of words between the two parties, the Congress and the BJP. Now, here is what Khurshid had said. First, he compared Rahul Gandhi to a yogi who is doing great tapasya with his Bharat Jodo Yatra. BJP was quick to remind the Congress party of how under UPA, the government had denied the existence of Ram in a court affidavit. Khurshid went on to say, "We carried Ramji's kadau like Bharat in UP," which is once again a reference to the scriptures. BJP hit back saying that you blocked Ram temple construction for many decades. Khurshid then finally made the Rahul Ram analogy, saying the kadau has reached UP. Ramji, which is Rahul in this case, will also come soon. BJP has demanded an apology from the Congress party, claiming that this is hurting Hindu sentiments. Now, there are several times with temple visits that Rahul Gandhi and even other Gandhi family members have been criticized for being seasonal Hindus or election Hindus. Here's a reminder of the start of this soft Hindutva pitch by the Congress in recent times, since Narendra Modi came to power. Now, ahead of the 2017 UP elections, Rahul had visited the Hanuman Gadi temple in Ayodhya. This was significant because it was the first such visit by a Gandhi in 26 years. This visit took place in 2016 and was linked to the 2017 UP elections. A year later, ahead of Gujarat elections, remember, Rahul Gandhi himself had come out and said that he is a Shiv Bhakt. It is something that was debated quite a bit at that time, had become big headlines. Same time, Congress's Randeep Surjewala, you would remember, had declared that Rahul is a Janeudhari Brahmin. So this pitch is not new, but will it work this time around? Is it being attempted all over again? There is also a war ongoing over Rahul's t-shirt look he sported when visiting the samadhis of various former prime ministers yesterday. Congress has been drooling over that Rahul look, calling him even superhuman. Now, BJP's Amit Malviya tweeted mocking Congress's PM ambition for Rahul on the basis of his ability to rock a t-shirt in Delhi's cold. And this is how Rashid Alvi then responded to Malviya.
मैं भी सुबह गया था इंडिया गेट। वही दोनों टूरिस्ट जो उनको मिले थे मालवीय जी को, वो मुझे भी मिले थे। वो एक दुकान पे चाय पी रहे थे। वो चाय बेचने वाला दाढ़ी रखे हुए था, तो मैंने उससे बातचीत की। तो पूछा मैंने कि इस ठंड में यहाँ क्यों तुम चाय बेच रहे हो? तो उसने कहा कि मैं कोशिश कर रहा हूँ कि भविष्य में भारतीय जनता पार्टी का प्रधानमंत्री का उम्मीदवार बन जाऊँ।
All right, so those were some barbs exchanged between the Congress and the BJP. But on a more serious note, we debate, is the Rahul Ram analogy by the Congress leader Salman Khurshid in this case another attempt to woo Hindus?
खड़ाव लेकर हम उत्तर प्रदेश में चले हैं। उत्तर प्रदेश में खड़ाव पहुंच गई है तो राम जी भी पहुंचेंगे, ये हमारा विश्वास है।
पूरे भारत के हर नागरिक की भावनाओं को आहत करने का काम कांग्रेस पार्टी करती आई है और कर रही है, क्योंकि भगवान से तुलना करना, किसी के इष्ट से एक व्यक्ति की तुलना करना अपने आप में एक दुस्साहस है और जनता इनको जरूर सबक सिखाएगी।
ये वही कांग्रेस पार्टी है जिसने एक समय पर श्री राम के अस्तित्व पर ही सवाल उठाया था और हलफनामा दिया था कि राम जी का कोई अस्तित्व नहीं है।
इस तरह की बातें करके ये सिर्फ कहीं न कहीं महिमा मंडल और चाटुकारिता जो करने की पार्टी में इन लोगों की आदत पड़ी हुई है, तो उस पे और हिंदू भावनाओं से खेल रहे हैं लोग।
देश उसी रास्ते को चुनेगा जो देश को स्वीकार है, नागपुर का रास्ता नहीं चुनेगा।
बाहर सड़कों पे बगैर कंबल के निकलने की हिम्मत नहीं करते, बगैर कोट के निकलने की हिम्मत नहीं करते, वो एक टी शर्ट में घूम रहे हैं। बीजेपी के लोगों को इससे सबक लेना चाहिए कि जो आदमी भगवान के पद चिन्हों पे चलता है उसमें इतनी ही ताकत आ जाती है।
Let's go across to the guests who are joining us. Tuhin Sinha is BJP spokesperson. Swati Malik is from the Congress party. Rahul Ishwar, author and activist, is also joining us. Suman Siraman, political analyst. Atikur Rahman is Islamic scholar, also joining us on this debate. I want to begin with Swati Malik because, Swati, a lot of the allegations coming in on the Congress party is that this is a very frivolous attempt, to equate Rahul Gandhi to Lord Ram. He's a revered figure who is worshipped by Hindus. This is not a frivolous, comparison that can be made. Is the Congress guilty of trivializing Hindu faith here?
Not at all, Shivani. This was a comparison drawn by Mr. Khurshid in his individual capacity to start with. Let's not forget these are sentiments of an individual, of a senior member of the party who feels a certain way towards Mr. Gandhi. This is not an official statement released by the Congress
but
party.
The Congress is having many problems with
has...
so-called not official statements being released. Ultimately, they're coming by Congress leaders and they're reflecting a Congress, they're reflective of the Congress mindset.
But Shivani, I don't understand why is this debate happening now? I'm sure you'll recall in 2013, Mr. Rajnath Singh had compared Mr. Modi as well to Lord Ram, right? So these kind of this is an analogy being drawn. It was drawn then, it is drawn now. So what is the difference between the two? Why there was no debate then and now there's a debate this time?
I'll tell you
right?
the difference. I'll tell you the difference because the Congress party is not quite seen as a party that usually hails Hinduism in this way. It has in fact in the past been criticized for being quote-unquote anti-Hindu in its mindset, in its policies. The UPA government denied existence of Ram as a BJP spokesperson has, during this while quoted, and has even blocked the construction of the Ram temple. And then to, appropriate Ram and equate Rahul with Ram seems a little frivolous, isn't it?
Shivani, nobody can appropriate Ram. I mean, Ram is for you, Ram is for me, Ram is there for everybody. So nobody is appropriating Ram. Nobody's even comparing Rahul ji to Ram. Ram ji, let's just, stick to the correct language here. So nobody is comparing the two either. It was an analogy which was said that, just like Ram ji could not go everywhere and his khadas were taken by Bharat, his younger brother. Similarly, that is what happened today, and the workers had taken the message of Rahul ji today out. That is all. That is what the analogy was. Nobody compared the greatness of the two leaders. Nobody, of Ram ji with Rahul Gandhi ji here. Nobody compared the two. Nobody compared Rahul Gandhi as a great...
It was an example given. Okay. Tuhin, why make such a big deal about it? It is just an analogy. It's just an example given. And shouldn't the BJP be happy if Congress leaders are using analogies that come from Ramayana? You criticize them for not being Hindu enough.
Well, Shivani, good evening. Salman Khurshid's comments today are an extension of the incoherence, the gibberish which Rahul Gandhi has been habitually unleashing for a very long time now. The last instance was just 2 days ago when he said that all kinds of animals participated in the yatra. So this statement by Salman Khurshid is equally illogical. But yes, why we are aggrieved is that not just us, millions of people would be aggrieved because they are trivializing not just the Hindu faith, the Ramayana. And is Mr. Khurshid even equipped to talk about Ramayana? The same person who in his book has drawn an analogy between Hindutva and Boko Haram. So you can understand the mindset from which the statement is coming from. And when it comes to Lord Ram, unlike Lord Ram, who was a Maryada Purushottam, who spent 14 years in exile, you have a person who after every 14 weeks needs a 14 days break to charge himself. So, you can't even remotely draw an analogy with a person who was a lazy escapist throughout, has been a lazy escapist throughout.
No, but my question to you was different. You have been, accusing the Congress party of not being Hindu enough, of not having, enough Hinduism or respect for Hinduism in its party statements or its behavior in its politics. Today, a Congress leader who opposes Hindutva, quote unquote, is hailing Ram and is equating their biggest face to Ram. What should be your problem?
Any Hindu would be aggrieved if such a fallacious analogy is drawn. Like I said, the person has been a lazy escapist, unlike Lord Ram, who committed his entire life to dharma, to karma. If at all Rahul Gandhi needs to be compared with anybody, it is with Bahadur Shah Zafar, because like Bahadur Shah Zafar, who was the last Mughal emperor and who made sure that there was no, there was no extension of Mughal dynasty in India. Rahul Gandhi, with his sheer ineptitude, with his sheer failures, has ensured that no further dynasty of the Gandhi family would be in Indian politics anymore.
Okay, but just like you are free to draw those analogies, the Congress is also free to draw its own analogies. Let me bring in Sumant C. Raman here. He's already raising his finger. Sumant, the question that does arise though, while Congress can make these analogies, is it a very easy way, is it a very easy escape for the Congress party that when it suits them, they will look towards Hindu epics and even Ramayana and Hindu figures and Hindu gods and goddesses? Other than that, they're always opposed to Hindu Astha.
Let us first dispel this notion that the Congress has suddenly discovered, Hinduism or Hindu gods and so on. There is a history of 50, 60 years where Congress leaders, including prime ministers, have regularly visited temples, have regularly sought out the counsel of Hindu holy men and so on. It's been a continuous process. So this is absolute, hogwash that suddenly Rahul Gandhi is doing. Second, very importantly, I want to know what exactly is the problem. Is it that Rahul Gandhi is being compared to Lord Ram, meaning Rahul Gandhi should not be, but only Prime Minister Modi ji should be? Mr. Rajnath Singh in 2013 compared the Prime Minister to Lord Ram. Surendra Singh, an MLA from UP, compared the Prime Minister to Lord Ram. Mr. Kamal Patel, Minister in Madhya Pradesh, compared the Prime Minister to Lord Ram. Then Mr. C.T. Ravi from Karnataka compared him to Lord Narayana. And there was this spokesperson of the BJP in Maharashtra, Mr. Wagh, who called him the 11th avatar of Lord Vishnu. Now, if you can probably explain why we did not debate that on national television and we are only debating this issue, it'll sort of explain a lot of things to the viewers. I don't remember doing any debates when Rajnath Singh in 2013 compared the Prime Minister.
I'll tell you why. Because Hindutva and Hinduism, Hindu analogies come very naturally to the BJP.
We are talking about.
It's just that this is not something which is in the Congress lexicon.
No. Look,
it has also come
if
from.
You compare,
now, Sumant, you asked me to clarify. Can I please clarify?
Yeah.
Please don't talk over me. I don't like this.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you exactly what. I shared this with Swati also, that when the Congress does it, it seems a little facetious because Congress repeatedly has mocked either Hinduism, several of those leaders' statements, or has mocked Hindutva. There, of course, as I mentioned, Rahul Gandhi is the biggest proponent of the theory that Hinduism and Hindutva are two different.
I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand at all.
I'm finished. I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
But you made a completely false, absurd statement saying that they have mocked Hinduism and they have mocked Hindutva.
Yes, there are several statements.
I have never seen a statement where Congress has mocked Hinduism. Mocking Hindutva
there are
is
several
totally different.
Statements.
Tell me, Hinduism is different. Hindutva is different.
No, again, these are two different arguments I'm making. No, one second. My aim is not to debate with you singularly, so please allow me time to go to our other guests. But I absolutely
Sumant,
not like this. Sumant, not like this. Not like this, please. I'll have to mute you. I'm absolutely making the point that there are several instances where Congress leaders have ended up mocking Hindu gods and goddesses and Hinduism per se. There are also, of course, as I'm saying, several instances, Rahul Ishwar, where of course Rahul Gandhi says that Hinduism and Hindutva is different. Now that's a separate debate, whether it is truly different or not. But it cannot be denied that there have several statements that have come to light which have been derogatory to Hindu faith and Hinduism itself. We'll take out a list. It was not my intention to discuss those statements today. But Rahul, my question still stands. Sumant is saying, why are we debating today when we didn't debate what Rajnath Singh said? Do you think that the two analogies, when used by two different parties, are different?
Two submissions. Once there was a great Congress president who used to talk about Ramarajya, who used to talk about cow protection, who used to talk about the great cultural value of India. That was the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. But unfortunately, Congress after independence took a Nehruvian pseudo-secular or left liberal secular, what they call secular kind of a route, which denied Hindu roots and Hindu culture and ethos. That was evident in so many issues.
Can I just mention, because you mentioned Nehru, Sumant has left the debate. I don't know why. He couldn't quite stand the fact that he and I differed on something. I don't know why he's left the debate. He was heckling me while I was making my point. But since you mentioned Nehru, what did Nehru say when Somnath was being rebuilt? He called it Hindu revivalism. Now tell me, how is Somnath rebuilding Hindutva, but not actually directly about Hinduism and Hindus' faith? A temple revered and one of the most important centers of Hindu faith that was destroyed by foreign invaders, but Nehru opposed it. So I'm absolutely right when I say that Congress can be accused of mocking the Hindu faith in the past.
And when K.M. Munshiji and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel wanted it, Pandit Nehru opposed it. It was Mahatma Gandhi's position which made it possible, because Mahatma Gandhi strongly understood that cultural sentiment, and Mahatma Gandhi was a very proud Hindu, Gorakshak. Everything about him is Hindu, but he was a pluralist too. But unfortunately, Congress lost that line of pluralism, which is inherent, inbuilt in Hindu culture. And second, with due respect to Congress, see, how can we forget them mocking Lord Sri Ram in the affidavit given to Supreme Court, saying that there is no concrete proof of Sri Ram being there. So there are a lot of instances where people will feel circumspect. And as Suman sir earlier said, or any person saying, if somebody is comparing, saying Modi is the 11th avatar, they are equally wrong too. Nobody says, I am a huge fan of Modi ji, I vote for Modi ji, but at the same point of time, Modi ji is not God. He is a Pradhan Sevak. He is a great human being.
You bring me to my next
serving,
point.
In a very workaholic nature for our nation.
You bring me to my next point, which I raised in my opening, and I'll take that to Swati from the Congress party, that Swati, you've often opposed that kind of reverence for, let's say, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Congress leaders again, day after day mock BJP supporters as quote-unquote Modi bhakts. Now, by equating Rahul to Ram, aren't you doing exactly what the BJP is accused of? You're doing everything they do, yet you claim to be different.
Shivani...
No,
Shivani,
you clearly can't respond to what I'm saying.
No, I
exactly the same.
I absolutely can. But yes, your question did bring out a little humor in me. I'm sorry,
okay,
but it's not like I take it very seriously. But please, you cannot compare the two, anyways, right? And here, this is not nobody can be compared to Lord Ram, neither Mr. Modi nor Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Nobody can be compared.
But then,
right?
why do your leaders make these statements? That is the first problem.
I'll tell you why this
Mallikarjun Kharge calls the Prime Minister Ravan and Khurshid calls Rahul Ram. Ek to ye bar-bar this references to Ramayan, I'm wondering why. Right? And secondly, more importantly, answer my question. You deride BJP supporters as Modi bhakts because you claim they are andhbhakts, right? But
yes,
what is this happening when you equate Rahul to Ram? Aren't you creating bhakti for him?
Please understand, you will not see any sort of IT. Please go to Twitter. Please see out there Rahul as Ram. Nothing is, no hashtags that all the kinds are trending right now. Nothing like that. It is a statement made by one individual, one senior member of the party who thinks a certain way. It's like I might think, Shivani, that you are really good. I might compare you to Sita tomorrow. That doesn't mean that this is going to be official line of the Congress. No.
What is the official line of the Congress? I am discussing exactly this. While the Congress continues to use soft Hindutva in its messaging, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying the Congress should not do it. Unfortunately, the problem is, Rahul Ishwar, I'll take that to Tuhin in fact. Unfortunately, the problem is that the messaging is not consistent. The party it peddles soft Hindutva from time to time. Even the Aam Aadmi Party in these days has been accused of peddling soft Hindutva. But the Congress's line is not clear. You have to be clear. What is your message to the public? You are for Hindu causes, against Hindu causes? Do you accept Hindu causes? Do you accept that there are genuine Hindu causes in this country? that Congress has traditionally been opposed to, including, for example, Ram Temple? Yes, Tuhin.
Therein lies the inherent dichotomy in the Congress's sudden love for Ramayana and the Congress's sudden love for the characters of Ramayana. So, without understanding what Lord Ram really stood for, while you are reminding the Congress party of the 2005 affidavit wherein they had specifically mentioned that Ram did not exist, let me further remind you that Rahul Gandhi at the end of the day is a corrupt guy who's out on bail. So, to make an analogy with somebody...
But you can't declare him corrupt, the case is ongoing. Wait for the case to finish.
Impeccable, absolutely flawless. He was an epitome of Satya, he was an epitome of Dharma, and he was an epitome of Maryada. So to compare Rahul Gandhi, who's a non-achiever at the end of the day, who at the end of the day has no mission, because at the end of the day...
Your problems with Rahul Gandhi aside, is it also not an overreach to suggest that what Salman Khurshid has said is hurting Hindu sentiments? अब हर चीज में आप ये बोल देते हो this is an insult to Hindus and insult to Hindu sentiments. That's also a bit much, no?
है ना, भगवान राम कौन थे वो इनको समझ में नहीं आता है. आप बहुत आसानी से खारगे जी ने प्रधानमंत्री को रावण कह दिया. तो इस तरह के ये जो लोग हैं, ये जो इनको समझ नहीं है रामायण क्या है, और जब ये समझेंगे तो फिर ये राहुल गांधी को खुद कभी राम की तुलना राहुल गांधी से नहीं करेंगे.
Okay. Atikur, I'm sorry I kept you waiting. Thanks a lot for being with us. Swati, I'll come back to you. Atikur, I want to understand from you, there has been a time when the Muslims in the country have looked up to the Congress party as their natural choice. Election after election, we are witnessing that even the Muslims are deserting the Congress as their natural choice, especially versus the BJP. And then you have these comments that come in from time to time. There are temple visits that happen. Do you sense that there is an unease within the Congress party, whether they should woo Muslims today or whether they should woo Hindus today?
No, Shivani, as far as Salman Khurshid, comparing Rahul Gandhi with Lord Ram is concerned, there is something very much inherent in the Muslim societies, which I saw on your debate, which is missing here. We believe that any person who is copy-pasting the legacy of any person, any messengers of God, or any wali Allah, a good gesture, a gesture of charity, a gesture of, some kind of a donation, a large or some small donation, we believe that this is a following of the sunnah of that particular messenger or the prophet. Say, for example, Garib Nawaz of Ajmer, if a person gives too much of charity, he is compared with Khwaja Sahib. So I do not understand if is this Brahminwad at the very, very high level, that since Nehru was not religious, Rahul Gandhi should never be a religious person. This is Brahminwad for me. If Rahul Gandhi or any other person, Swati, you too, will be having a good yatra, you will be having a very pious effort to, make your own people.
I don't understand. Why are you saying this is Brahminwad? One second. Sometimes I don't understand some of these cross-intersectionalities. What does Brahminwad have to do with this?
No, Brahminwad is, you said that since Nehru was not religious, Rahul Gandhi should never be religious.
I didn't say that.
Rahul Gandhi can be a different man.
But I didn't say that.
He can be more religious or less religious than Nehru.
But Atikur Rahman, nobody said that. Nobody has a problem with what Rahul Gandhi does as a religious person. We are discussing more politics today.
Rahul Gandhi cannot be expected to do the same thing with the Hindu Dharma or Somnath or whatever he believes in.
No, Rahul Gandhi, I don't know. Atikur Rahman, you've completely misunderstood what we are discussing. First of all, this is not about Rahul Gandhi's religion or his religiosity. This is about One second. We are discussing the political use of religious figures and religious connotations to politics. We are not discussing what their personal faith is. We are discussing how politics plays out. For example, his Bharat Jodo Yatra has almost been compared to, I don't know, maybe the connotation was, it was a comparison to Ram crisscrossing through the country, but whatever it may be. My question to you was a little bit different. My question is that the Congress party is often accused of peddling soft Hindutva. We are seeing it is losing its Muslim voter base. Do you believe that politically the Congress party is a little bit confused today? Let me take that to Rahul Ishwar. Rahul Ishwar, what do you think?
You're absolutely spot on. See, two submissions. If Rahul Gandhi is genuinely turning spiritualistic, genuinely turning into a dharmic way of life, all congrats and kudos to him. But please don't be a part-time bhakt. That's very worse. Part-time bhakt and election time bhakt is really bad. You are the great grandson of Indira Gandhi.
Rahul, who are you to decide, sir?
But don't be a part-time bhakt.
Rahul, who are you to decide?
No, sir. Being a genuine devotee myself, my only request is don't be a part-time bhakt. Second, see, please remember, our left liberal parties have always been eyeing Muslim votes or the minority votes by saying that secularism should see having some anti-Hindu connotation. That was the brand of secularism which was practiced in India. After the growth of right or dharmic or patriotic spectrum, whatever name you want to call it, there is a role reversal. Right now, everybody is trying for that Hindu mind. Aam Aadmi Party saying that they will take the people to Ayodhya or chanting Hanuman Chalisa. So there is a Hinduization of politics or a right-leaning formation of politics. That's one huge change that has happened.
Yeah.
But only one thing as I would like to submit is, let us be genuine about spirituality and religion and not use it for politics this way or that way. Because
and will it work? I'll take that to our political panelists. But yes, really Atiq Rahman, please finish. What did you want to add?
No, Rahul, we never took secularism to be something anti-Hindu. Then only you can prove your secular. That's your imagination of things. And I would say it's a wild, imagination of yours that we take secularism and something should be anti-Hindu. Then only I can prove I am secular. I am sorry. You are too parochial in your thought, Rahul. I
Sir,
never
you didn't do,
you
but
are
the
having
pseudo-secular Hindus, the self-claimed
no, that's
liberal
your
Hindus
description,
did.
sir.
A Muslim
That's
will not
your
do, but the
description of
pseudo-secular
secularism.
Hindus did.
It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. You convey the right message, and the right message is secularism is you are embracing everybody equally.
Okay.
Come on, give the
is
right
that
message.
something the
You are
Congress
nobody to
party
decide.
is attempting, Swati Malik? Because in the past, the BJP has kind of swept the rug from under your feet. There is a united spectrum of Hindu votes that go to the BJP today, and that is testament to their electoral success. You've also been losing your Muslim votes. Is this an attempt to, woo both sides, to be seen as an alternative for the Muslims against the BJP, against quote-unquote Hindutva in India, but also woo Hindu voters? I'm asking you this question because it has been attempted before. It's been attempted again and again since 2014. Will it work?
Shivani, this is the problem. This is not an attempt to just woo voters. It is not that. If Mr. Rahul Gandhi is Janayudhari, if he goes to these temples, it is his personal choice. It's his individual choice. So it is not done to lure voters. No, not at all. Congress party has been a secular party, and being secular does not mean being anti-Hindu. But of course, because BJP is only harping upon their Hinduism, that's how they want to project the Congress to be anti-Hindu. Now, one more thing.
And is the Congress feeling that pressure? Is the Congress indeed feeling that pressure that you have to prove yourself?
No, not at all. Instead, if you recall Mr. Rahul Gandhi's statement or his bhashan at Lal Killa when he reached on Saturday in the evening, when he was after finishing those more than 100 kilometers, after having walked for more than 110 days, more than 25 kilometers each day in that white t-shirt. Look at the kind of debates that we are going to from one point to the other, Shivani. There was a debate on why is he wearing that expensive t-shirt. Then it came to why is he wearing only a t-shirt, why nothing else. Then it came to why that beard has been grown, right? And now we are talking about him being compared to Lord Ram which was an individual statement by a senior member, whereas the main issues even of the yatra are being digressed from. And this is exactly what he said. He said it that all we do and debate is Hindu-Muslim, Hindu-Muslim, Hindu-Muslim.
No, we are not discussing Hindu-Muslim. We are just discussing the use of Lord Ram's name to equate with Rahul Gandhi. I'm not sure if, dropping Ram's name so easily should be okay. But anyways, it is freedom. There is a freedom that every individual has. But there are also repercussions for it. Yes, Tuhin, I have a final minute left.
Shivani, even in this day and age, the Congress party has alliances with IUML in Kerala and AUDF in Assam.
So what? Is the IUML not a recognized political party?
Let him finish. Let him finish. Atiko ji, let him finish. Let him finish.
Ideological predecessors were responsible for the division of the country. So for that
predecessors, not the people right now. Why you are mixing up the things? It's a recognized political party.
You have to hear me to understand. You have to understand. You hear me out to understand the link. For that party to indulge in an opportunistic appropriation of Mahabharat, Ramayana, and characters of Ramayana and Mahabharat is absolutely unacceptable. That is what I'm saying.
Okay. I have to leave it at that. Let's see where this goes. But certainly there are a lot of statements coming in on day-to-day basis that are becoming debating issues, because there are something deeper issues that are sometimes laced under these comments. I have to slip into a very short break. On the other side, Saudi Arabia hosted an event to promote yoga. 11 Arab countries, in fact, participated in it, and it's a running program. But why is it that there was a certain section of Muslims, especially clerics, hardliners in India, that opposed yoga in India? More on that in just a minute.
Punish Chinese if they venture like this, you need a rocket force. There's no doubt. The rocket force is more required against Chinese rather than Pakistan. But against Chinese, that was the plan, that you must have the best of the missile, best of the rocket force. And we are building up combat. If you see Russian-Ukraine war also, the impact which Russia is now making on Ukraine is basically its rocket and missile force, which is going and hurting the energy infrastructure of Ukraine because they were not very successful on a ground operation. In fact, they are on a back foot as far as the East Ukraine is concerned. But what is the game changer as far as Russia is concerned? The missile and the rocket force which they are there, and they are able to destroy the complete energy sector of Ukraine as well as their military infrastructure. So that's why the rocket force is there to stay, and it is a vision for future. And the Russia-Ukraine war has already given us this indication that you must have the best of the missile and rockets, because the war will be fought with this before you join the ground forces. So I suppose we are unfolding it, and in time to come, you'll find India will be capable in a manner that we have one of the best missile and rocket force.
Amid the ongoing disturbance with China across the LAC, India is going to deploy Pralay ballistic missiles at the China border. The Defence Ministry has cleared the procurement of 120 such tactical ballistic missiles for the armed forces. Now, this particular missile has a range of 150 to 500 kilometers. The missile can defeat interceptors and it can change its path midway. Both China and Pakistan already have these tactical ballistical missiles. These are the details we have with us so far. Now, I do want to share with you more about what is in the plans. The missiles have been developed by the Defence Research and Development Organization. They've been further developed and their range can be extended significantly if the forces want it to be so. This is a missile system that actually started development back in 2015, and it was given a capability, the capability was given a push by the late General Bipin Rawat when he was the Chief of the Army Staff. Now, my colleague Akash is with us. Akash, the missiles have successfully tested twice last year, December 21st and December 22nd. Can you tell us more about this? I know it's a quasi-ballistic surface-to-surface missile. What does that mean, and what could its impact be in the India-China LAC front?
Right. So, Toya, first of all, both China and Pakistan have this sort of ballistic missiles, and this is very important in terms that when we have borders with both these countries, so now we are going to deploy these missiles at our borders as well fast. Secondly, talking about the particular project, so as you rightly mentioned, this particular missile system, in fact, the project was started in 2015. And after the successful trials and the tests that you have just mentioned, finally, Defense Ministry has given a green signal for the procurement. And we have been given to understand that initially we are, procuring 120 ballistic missiles for armed forces, specifically for the borders. And, Toya, it is important to mention because we know the kind of conditions that we have with China as of now, also the disturbance that we have faced in the in this particular month, and also the disturbances that we have seen in past 2 years. So it is very important. Also, talking about this missile system, so this particular missile can take out targets from 150 to 500 kilometers, and the important factor is that it is extremely difficult for enemy to intercept this particular missile through interceptor, and this is what the features and functions are. Also, talking about this particular defense ministry's meeting where this particular missile system was given a green signal. So officers are in opinion that as of now we are working on our capabilities. We should focus on preparedness, and this is what we are seeing from last so many years when India is focusing on Atmanirbharta, when India is focusing on indigenous platforms, and we have seen how in both Indian Air Force or in Indian Navy for that matter and Indian Army. So all three forces are working on Atmanirbharta. Yes, it is an important step in terms of preparedness of Indian Army and the armed forces. And, it is very important to give a clear message that, India has now all the capabilities. India has a future-ready force, and also these capabilities where we can, defend our borders, where we can teach you a lesson in case you try something, a sort of invasion or any other thing.
Okay, Akash, stay with us. Major General A.K. Sivaj is also with us on the phone right now. He's a defense expert. Let me go over to him to understand more. General, thank you so much for joining us here at CNN News 18. General, if you could just explain to our audiences in a more detailed manner, what is India's capability right now when it comes to ballistic missiles, and how does the Pralay take us a step further? How does it equip us further?
As far as India ballistic missile capability is concerned, it is quite robust. You see, we have series of missiles. We have a Prithvi, which are there from short range till the medium range. Then we have Agni, which is going up till about 5,000 kilometers, which we have tested, Agni 5. And these are all nuclear capable missiles. But this induction of Pralay is a game changer. Because you see, the issue is it has a range of between 150 to 500. So it is a short range ballistic missile. And the advantage of this is that one is that it
Thanks a lot for staying with us. Saudi Arabia hosted an event to promote yoga and its impact in improving the quality of life. The program will be running till December 30 under the umbrella of the Ministry of Sports in Jeddah. Delegates from 11 Arab countries have taken part in the workshops held so far. Yoga's popularity, no doubt, has spread to the entire world over the last few years, with over 180 countries celebrating Yoga Day regularly now. But remember the staunch opposition to Yoga Day and even its introduction in schools for young kids. When Muslim Arab countries can embrace yoga and don't consider it a threat to their religion, why was it opposed so vehemently in India in the name of faith? And why is it that secular and moderate voices did not speak up against such fear-mongering and hardline approach then? Before we take that to our guests, take a look at how yoga was opposed in India. Jamaatul Ulema Hind had called the introduction of yoga in schools an attempt to saffronize education. It went on to add, in fact, that there is an attempt to Hinduize the thought process of Indian citizens. AIMPLB, which is the Muslim Personal Law Board, had said that Yoga Day is a conspiracy to enforce, quote, Brahmin Dharma and Vedic culture. AIMIM, which is a political party, appealed to Muslims in Uttar Pradesh, for example, to offer namaz on Yoga Day instead. Its leader, Asaduddin Owaisi, said Surya Namaskar is against the ethos of Islam. So, by asking people to do yoga, it is a violation of their fundamental rights to religion. So, it was even taken to that level. How is it that Muslims in Saudi Arabia or the rest of the world don't have such a big problem with yoga, despite its very Hindu origin? But in India, certain sections of Muslims opposed it vehemently. We debate that next. Let's go across to the guests who are joining us. Anila Singh from the BJP, Ratan Sharda is researcher and author of the RSS. Dr. Lubna Kamal is activist joining us. Maulana Ali Qadri is an Islamic scholar. Maulana Qadri, let me come to you. Why is it that the Muslim world, even some of the most orthodox Muslim countries, don't have a problem with yoga? Of course, it is something that is birth of Hinduism or Sanatan Dharma. It has connotations of Hindu worship. I'm not denying that. But why is it that the Muslim world outside of India is not threatened by it? But there were so many clerics and so many political parties, leaders who were so threatened by yoga in India?
एक्चुअली मैडम देखिए, सबसे पहले तो मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा को योगा को किसी भी मजहब से जोड़ने की कोशिश ना करें, क्योंकि वो एक एक्सरसाइज है। और अभी जैसे कि आपकी रिपोर्ट में बताया जा रहा था कि कोई पॉलिटिकल लीडर सूर्य नमस्कार के बारे में बताए, तो मैं आपको ये बता दूं कि उस वक्त योगा का जो आसन होते हैं और योगा जो कुछ भी किया जाता है उसको बतौर एक्सरसाइज करने में कोई हर्ज नहीं है। रहा सवाल सूर्य नमस्कार हो या उसमें ओम जैसी आवाज निकाली जाती है, ये यकीनन इस्लाम के खिलाफ है, खतई तौर पर इसको नहीं किया जाएगा। रहा सवाल एक्सरसाइज के तौर पर हमें करने में कोई आपत्ति नहीं है। और जहां तक के सऊदी अरब की बात की जा रही है, तो सऊदी अरब ने अगर योगा को लागू किया है स्कूल्स में, तो वो एक बतौर एक्सरसाइज किया है, क्योंकि वह हेल्थ के लिए अच्छा है। ये हम भी मानते हैं और सारा वर्ल्ड इसको मानता है। हमारे
उन्होंने मेरे ख्याल से स्कूल्स में नहीं इंट्रोड्यूस किया है वो, लेकिन योगा को प्रमोट करते हैं। उनकी स्पोर्ट्स मिनिस्ट्री के अंदर प्रॉपर एक योगा प्रोग्राम होता है और उसके अंदर ये एक प्रोग्राम भी हो रहा है। बट आपने स्कूल्स की बात करी, जब स्कूल्स में योगा इंट्रोड्यूस हो रहा था तब बहुत ऑपोजिशन हुआ था इंडिया में। उस वक्त तो ये भी कहा गया था कि ये एजुकेशन को सैफ्रनाइज, हिंदुताइज करने की कोशिश है और ये हमारे फंडामेंटल राइट्स के खिलाफ हैं। तो आपको नहीं लगता कि बहुत ज्यादा डर फैलाया गया था उस वक्त सिर्फ इसलिए? ये 2015 की बात है, क्या ये सिर्फ इसलिए था क्योंकि नरेंद्र मोदी इस पावर में आ गए थे, इसलिए डर फैलाया जा रहा था?
देखिए मैडम, पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज तो कोई भी इश्यूज को पॉलिटिसाइज करना चाहती है और अपने वोट बैंक को फिक्स करने के लिए कुछ भी करती है। तो मैं इसको बिल्कुल ही नॉन पॉलिटिकल देखते हुए ये कहूंगा कि योगा सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक एक्सरसाइज की हद तक है। जहां तक के सवाल सूर्य नमस्कार का है और ओम का जो लगान बोलना है, जिस तरीके से आश्रमों में हमने देखा क्लिप्स में योगा किया जाता है, तो वो चीजों पर हमें आपत्ति थी, है और रहेगी।
नहीं, आपने बोला कि पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज करती हैं, वो बात सही नहीं है। मैंने बहुत सारी मुस्लिम ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस का एग्जांपल कोट किया है। जमातुल उलेमा हिंद हो गए, AIM PLB हो गई, वो तो अपने आप को मुसलमानों के ठेकेदार वैसे ही मानते हैं इस देश में कि सब कुछ वो ही बताएंगे मुसलमानों को कि क्या करना है क्या नहीं करना है। उन्होंने भी अपोज किया था। जब आप कह रहे हैं आज ये कि योगा एक एज एन एक्सरसाइज हर एक कोई एक्सेप्ट कर सकता है, तो उस वक्त क्या प्रॉब्लम थी? इतना बवाल क्यों मचाया गया था?
मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड के बारे में एक बात आपको जरूर कहूंगा कि मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड सारे इंडिया के लिए, मुसलमानों के लिए कोई वो हमारी रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं है। वो एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है और कुछ उनकी फॉलोइंग जरूर है हिंदुस्तान में, लेकिन हर हिंदुस्तान का मुसलमान मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड को फॉलो नहीं करता।
मैंने तो सिर्फ एक एग्जांपल दिया। ऐसी बहुत सी हार्डलाइन मुस्लिम ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस थी जिन्होंने अपोज किया था, पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज और पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स भी थे। मेरा सवाल यही है, let me take that to Lubna also. Is there an attempt amongst the Muslim community, those who use faith for politics, to basically keep Indian Muslims away from anything that is not from Islam? Obviously, yoga is not from Islam, but is of Indian origin and of Indian culture and heritage. As an Indian Muslim, you are expected to accept what has come from this land, even if it hasn't come from your religion, because there are multiple faiths that live in India. But there is a section of Indian Muslim clerics who want to tell Indian Muslims that you can only accept of what is from your faith. If there is the Gita, if there is the Upanishads, if there are the Vedas, if there are the Shastras, if there is yoga, you can't accept it. Then what is the point of being Indian if you can't accept these Indian cultural markers? Lubna ji.
Firstly, let me correct you that yoga is very much part of Islam. What do you think namaz is about? It is just meditation and yoga combined. Let me correct you over there. The second thing is that...
No, one second. Lubna ji, I'm sorry, but you can't appropriate yoga as Islamic. I'm sorry to say this. There may be
No, no,
similarities in the way namaz is done, that is fine. But
all
yoga
the-
predates Islam, so please let's not get into that.
all the steps of namaz,
Yes.
they are, various asanas of yoga only.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so there
Yeah.
should be no problem, you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. The problem actually might be with the mantras and the ucharan of Om, and with the name that of the Surya Namaskar. But then there should be dialogue. People, Muslims need more clarity on that. They feel that they might be forced into, saying those things. Rather, I would say that the mantras, even, I am a very regular practitioner of yoga, my family, my entire family, and we recite those mantras as well, because I have gone through the meanings of those mantras, the Gayatri mantra, the Om, everything. So I know that they are very similar to the Quranic ayats. Obviously, Allah is replaced with Ishwar and other names for God. But then it's very similar, so I don't have a problem with that.
But
then
why is it that then some clerics in India have a problem with yoga to the extent that they fear that this is some sort of conspiracy?
Just let me complete. Yes, because Muslims feel there are, because I have been speaking on this. I am a medical doctor as well, so I keep on speaking about the benefits of yoga. But I have even spoken to imams of masjids. I propose that after Fajr namaz, that is in the morning, 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., they can, they can have a session of yoga, which will be very healthy for all those who are coming for the namaz. But they perceive it as, just listen to me, they perceive it as a tool for saffronization. So there is where we need dialogue, that you don't need to, that Omka Ucharan, or it is not necessary that you have to recite those mantras and all.
बट युगना जी, मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहा, ये भारत कितने हजारों साल की सिविलाइजेशन है, हाँ, और इतने सालों से यहाँ पे इस्लाम है. मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहा कि अब क्यों फियर है ये कि योगा इज सैफ्रनाइजेशन. हमारे देश में लोग सेंचुरी से योगा करते आए हैं, मिलेनिया से योगा करते आए हैं.
There are two things.
Why is there a fear about everything? Was this associated with the rise of the BJP at the central level?
Just let me complete. Firstly, because of shirk. See, anything, Muslims are really very careful about associating anything with God. I mean, with associating partners with God. So we are really careful about everything that there is a possibility, where there is a possibility of shirk. The second thing is that there have been so many things, I mean, instances where the saffronization has taken place. So their views are, their views, I mean, are not their views are based on something concrete. It's not
you said there are areas where saffronization has taken place. Can you give me a few examples?
Not at the moment. Yeah, but then there are universities where deliberately, colleges, even medical colleges, where there are deliberately people of one particular party are being appointed. I don't know what is the agenda behind it.
No, party appointments take place. That has been happening since politics in India. But what is saffronization of education in India? Because this is another bogey I hear. And actually the education minister a few years ago said not a single word has changed. But anyways, hai kya saffronization of education?
Yes, there is a lot of, I mean, I was at AMU yesterday only, and they showed me a lot of things, so that, I mean, they were very careful about that this should not be changed.
Like what? Should not be changed? No, I'm sorry. When people drop this charge of saffronization, once again, what can happen, we can't debate. But when people say, and have been saying since 2014, that there is saffronization of education, there has to be some concrete example. Please don't bring politics into this or political figures into this. कि इसका chapter add कर दिया, उसका chapter नहीं add किया, वो different चीज है. But saffronization of education क्या हुआ है? कोई समझाए हमें.
The history has changed a lot.
Like what history has changed? बताइए ना मैडम. कौन सी history change हो गई?
I have no idea about it. I mean, I keep on reading all those things, but I don't go into
Exactly.
the details.
Exactly. Unfortunately, it's been claimed, but nobody can give
Why?
examples of how
Do you think
saffronization of education has happened.
why
Anyways,
do you think?
coming back to our debate, Lubna ji is arguing, Ratan Sharda, that there are legitimate concerns of the Muslim community when it comes to yoga because it is often associated with, I mean, Surya Namaskar is only one part of yoga. There are obviously hundreds of other asanas, but Surya Namaskar is something that is done or promoted a lot as a beginner exercise or as an introduction to yoga. And that is something they naturally oppose.
See, no, I am not going to convince them why it is secular, why it is not Hindu, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Root of root of our exercise or yoga, which is not just a physical exercise, but also spiritual experience and also mental exercise for your mind. So it has Hindu roots, no doubt. But does it not help people? It helps people. So why should you oppose it? Is knowledge something which will be decided on the basis of from where it comes? And remember, it is not the first time this kind of language comes. Wahhabism is born out of India. If you whether it is Deobandi or Barelvi, and attempt not to assimilate in a society is a trait of Islam. If you look at what we talked about is violence in Europe yesterday, I think, and you know that reason was that they don't want to get integrated into society. So that's a serious problem. And now, if there is knowledge, it was not like this in Islam earlier on. You know, now Marwai, Saudi yoga teacher, you know about Rita, you know about Lamis, you know about Nora, Lady Lef, all these people, girls are doing yoga from different countries. Are they less Islamic? Malaysia does not yoga, Indonesia wants. Is Indonesia less Islamic? Is Saudi the home of Islam less Islamic? So this bogey of Islam in danger, and saffron is our pious color, sacred color, the color of Bharat. So let us not try to defame it by just throwing rhetoric at us.
Yeah, no,
And let me
actually,
give
the
an
question
example.
I asked
During
Ratan Sharda.
Abbasid, just a very important point. During Abbasid Caliphate, entire mathematics science went to Arab. From there, it went to Europe. Arab was not close to Indian knowledge at that time. That was also Hindu mathematics, Hindu science, Al-Fazari, Al-Awazi, and Al-Khawarizmi. All these people translated Hindu texts and took them to Arabia, from where it went to Europe. Al-Hind is the word used for Indian numerics. So if knowledge is good and Islam is not fearful, why should religion be so weak that you can be disturbed by something which is good for you but comes from another religion?
No, the
So
point
this
I
kind
was
of
making
thinking
was
is the
exactly
root.
this, that there is sometimes a mentality that Indian Muslims will adhere to what comes from Islam, which is natural, but they will not partake in anything that is Indian
That's what
but
I'm
does
saying.
not come from
That's why I
Islam.
said,
Now, my
Shivani,
question is, how can you
that's
be
why
Indian?
Shivani, I said.
No, Ratan Sharda,
Shivani,
can I
that is I
just
said.
can I just articulate this? Can I just articulate this?
No, for
How
example,
can how can you be in India but not accept a lot of things that come from another faith that are Indian? Now that that encourages segregation. That means that you're keeping your faith identity above your national identity. And
No, it is
saffron,
not that. Please don't
Lubna
mix.
ji, one second. Lubna ji, 1 second. I'll give you an opportunity. Also, the problem that arises is, as you were saying, of just people being together and celebrating things together. Now, by that logic, even doing namaskar is a problem. By that logic, even saying namaste is a problem. By that logic, even wishing somebody's festival is a problem. तो आप इसको किस लेवल तक ले जाएंगे? जब आप इंडिया में रहते हैं तो आपको कुछ तो इंडियन कल्चर एक्सेप्ट करना ही पड़ेगा ना. It's not a threat to your religion. Let me take that to Anila Singh also of the BJP. Anila Singh, do you believe that a lot of that yoga opposition was actually BJP opposition? Because it actually happened after Narendra Modi came to power in the center. He promoted yoga worldwide. He obviously started the attempt to get an International Yoga Day recognized.
My Ram Ram to everyone. First of all, my congratulations and appreciation to Arabic world promote yoga in their countries. And huge applaud to Narendra Modi ji. He is the one who made yoga popular in whole of the world in today's date. Secondly, if I talk about yoga means harmony. Whether we talk about body and mind harmony or your body balance, it means harmony. I was listening that perhaps Dr. Lubna or Maulana Qadri, one of them, they said, Maulana Qadri most probably, he said that Muslim world has got whole lot of problem from chanting Om. Sir, आप मत chant करिए. वैसे Om का मतलब आपको पता होना चाहिए. Om means sound of universe. साउंड ऑफ यूनिवर्स इसका मतलब होता है. पर आप ये और साउंड ऑफ यूनिवर्स की जब हम बात करते हैं तो वो किसी धर्म से जुड़ा हुआ नहीं होता है. और मुझको लगता है कि कोई भी धर्म जो है इतना कमजोर नहीं होता है कि अगर सूरज की पूजा करे तो वो कमजोर हो जाएगा. मैं जिस धर्म से आती हूँ चंद्रमा की पूजा होती है. लेट मी
लुबना जी एक बार उनको कंप्लीट करने दीजिए, फिर आपको मैं मौका देती हूँ.
No, Dr. Lubna, initially, please have some patience, lady. I really expect some patience from you.
Okay,
when you started talking, I found it very refreshing. But later on, you changed your language and you said that in today's date, education is getting saffronization. That is absolutely wrong. जब मैं जिस धर्म से आती हूँ, हमारे यहाँ चांद की पूजा होती है, तारे की पूजा होती है, और हम बिल्कुल भी कहीं भी इनसिक्योर महसूस नहीं करते हैं. तो मुझे लगता है कि कोई भी धर्म, कोई भी पंथ होता है, किसी चीज की पूजा करने से वो कमजोर नहीं होता, अपने आप में ताकत होता है. And let me tell you, Dr. Lubna, no education can get saffronization. History is history. When Shivani asked you, quote me an example that history is changing, you were not able to. आप जैसी एक पढ़ी लिखी महिला भी राष्ट्र चैनल पर बैठकर अफवाहें फैलाती हैं. That is very sad. That is absolutely.
I'll give all our guests a final opportunity to make their closing arguments. But the point is that at one level, we do have to understand that this is India. This is a land which for 6, 7, 8,000 years has borne a certain religion and a faith, which is also a way of life, a certain spirituality, a certain way of looking at the world. And there is a whole host of knowledge associated with it. You can't discard it. And if accepting that knowledge is saffronization, then so be it. That saffronization will happen if it hasn't happened before. So I don't think saffronization should be dropped as some. It is frankly a political tool, but politics should sometimes be kept away from these issues. Yes, Lubna ji, final 30 seconds.
Are you aware of what is shirk?
Yes, I'm aware, ma'am.
The other two speakers, are they aware what is shirk?
Ma'am, make your point quickly, please. लुबना जी अपना पॉइंट रखिए जल्दी.
I am asking, do you know even what is shirk? And Chantara, that Chantara has nothing to do with Islam. Why did she quote Chantara and what nonsense? People are so ill-informed about Islam. How can we expect anything? How can we not expect that you will start forcing us to recite all those things? I don't have a problem, but yes, people might have problem. Muslims might have problem with that. You are so ill-informed.
So who has said that you must chant Hindu mantras? ये तो किसी ने भी नहीं बोला. मौलाना कादरी?
जी मैडम.
Okay, I think we're having some issues with Maulana Qadri's video also, but I'll give Ratan Sharda a final opportunity to respond also. Ratan Sharda, there is still a lot of, let's say, there is a bridge that needs to be bridged.
Shivani, as I said, it is matter of Maulvis that they don't want their followers, their flock to mix up with other society because that is their USP. They want to keep their people in ghettoized conditions so they can drive them. As I said, during Abbasid Empire, 7th century to 13th century, Islam was very open. They took knowledge from India, translated it, distributed all over India. There are people like Abdul Kalam, who was a devout Muslim, but also yoga practitioner, Veena practitioner, Gita reader. There was Abdul Salam, who lectures on Gita. There are people, as I said, Indonesia is less Islamic, is Saudi Arabia less Islamic. It is typical Indian issue of Deoband and Barelvi kind of people who are not allowing these people to enjoy the great heritage that we have. Indonesia does allow.
Yeah, so it is everybody's heritage. It is Indian heritage. Yes, it must be accepted and enjoyed by all Indians. This is not about religion alone. If you're from India, you live in India, you're of India, you're an Indian citizen, it is your duty. to promote all things that are Indian. It cannot be always from the prison of religion. I do thank all of our guests for joining us, and we're leaving you with the visuals of Eastern Sarus cranes being released in Thailand. This is in a bid to revive the almost extinct species in the kingdom. Thanks a lot for watching.
ঘরের জন্য আমরা গরিব মানুষ, সাধারণ মানুষ, একটা ঘরের মধ্যে 4 জন লোক থাকি, তাহলে আমরা পারবো না, বড় লোকরা পারবো? আমরা সরে যাবো না, আমাদের ঘরের কি করতেই লাগবে তারপরে। কারণ আমার নতুন করে আমাদের একটাই অনুরোধ, ভিডিও হলো আমাদের বাড়ির যা দেখুক যে আমরা পারবো কি পারবো না, আদার যাদের নাম আছে তাদেরও দেখুক। ঘরে সব আমাদের গ্রামের সব গরিব মহিলাগুলা হচ্ছে ঘরের লিস্টে কোনো নাম নেই, আর যেগুলো ছাদের ঘর আছে, গাড়ি আছে, জায়গা জমি আছে, তাদের নামে সব লিস্টে নাম এসছে। তার জন্য ওই গরিব মানুষ সব একত্র হয়ে এই ধর্নায় বসেছে।
ওই সব ভালো ভালো বড় বড় বাড়িতে যারা বড় বড় বাড়ি তাদের নাম হয়েছে, আর গরিবদের লিস্টে যেগুলো নাম আসছে সেই নামকে ওরা কেটে দিয়েছে। কেটে দিয়ে বড় বড় 2 বাড়ি, 3 বাড়ি, 1 বাড়ি, পাথর লাগানো বাড়ি তাদের হয়েছে।
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. But has the government of Bengal, its functionaries, have they taken the right stand in the interest of people who don't have a makan, but for whom there is the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana? Can they hide behind whataboutery, saying what's happening in this state or what's happening in that state? Or should they be accountable for what is happening in the state of Bengal? Because that's what's come to light, ladies and gentlemen. 56 lakh beneficiaries, of which currently 17 lakhs and still counting names have been deleted of those who are backdoor entries. Backdoor entries, that's what's been called about such people. At the outset, let's try and understand who actually should be a beneficiary of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. The Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana very clearly delineates the conditions or the clauses on which they will be eligibility will be decided. First up, families without a home or have 1 to 2 rooms with a kacha roof. That's the first criterion. Second criterion, any household without a literate adult above the age of 25 years of age. Also, households without an adult male between the age of 16 to 59 years of age. Also, households with disabled members without able-bodied members to help them, support them. Landless households who have only temporary employment. So these are all the eligible beneficiaries for the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Now, have a look at what is happening on ground. An in-depth deep dive investigation conducted by CNN News18, Kamalika on ground, Anusuya giving lending voice to this report, shows the kind of people who have actually been allotted homes or who have made it into this list of beneficiaries. That is possible only because they have given cut money. This cut money syndrome is rampant across welfare schemes in Bengal, ladies and gentlemen, and the latest is the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Have a look at this.
In East Mednipur, we found several people who made it to the list of beneficiaries of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. But here's the twist. They currently live in big, lavish houses, but are also in the running for a scheme providing homes to the rural poor.
You can see behind me a palatial house, a very big bungalow. This is located in East Mednipur of Bengal. But this house, the owner of this house, according to the list, has also got an registration in Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Now that is the big issue before Panchayat election for both the sides.
Shubhra Santra's name was there in the list but has now been deleted.
আমার মানে শ্বশুরের 3 ছেলে
আমাকে এবারে আলাদা ভাই এখানে বড় ভাই আর মেজো ভাই থাকে আমাকে আলাদা করে দিয়েছে আমাকে এই জায়গাটা দিয়েছে এখন তারা এখানে রান্না করে খায় আমাকেও এই জায়গাটা দিয়েছে এবারে এই জন্য আমি করেছিলাম বাড়ি করব বলে আলাদাভাবে এই জন্য প্রধানমন্ত্রী আবাস যোজনা একটাই করেছিলাম
It was a similar picture at the Das residence.
In Haldia, this is another house behind me, as you can see, the house of Ratan Chandra Das, who's one of the brothers stay here. His name, what we are getting it from these sources here, local people are saying this is the original house. He has another house in somewhere else in East Mednipur, but his name was there in Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana.
আমি ঠিক জানি না তো বলতে পারবো না এবার জিজ্ঞেস করতে হবে আমার রতন চন্দ্র দাস যে আমার দাদা হয় জিজ্ঞেস করতে হবে
এখন যা ব্যবসার অবস্থা মানে মিষ্টি দোকান কি মানে ওই পয়সাতে খাওয়ার মতো হবে না এখন যা ব্যবসার পরিস্থিতি হ্যাঁ যদি ঘর না থাকে তার থাকার মতো জায়গা করতে হবে
Those who are eligible for the scheme say they are missing out due to politics. Protests broke out in West Mednipur and Cooch Behar after anger over alleged corruption in the beneficiary list. With Panchayat polls coming up, the issue has become the latest flashpoint between the TMC and the BJP.
We are with the people of Bengal. We are with the poorest of the poor in Bengal who deserve to be given funds to build their homes and not to people who owe their allegiance to the TMC. We are also going to challenge the matter in the court.
Thorough inspection is taking place at the Panchayat level, and as you know by now, already 17 lakhs names have been deleted. Our government is absolutely dedicated, and that's why thorough investigation is taking place.
We are standing in East Mednipur. Here, the percentage of deletion of names from Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana till now is more than 35%. This is the scene in other districts. On an average, 10 to 15% deletion is common. TMC government is trying to show that they are cleaning up the system. On the other hand, BJP will make this as an issue in Panchayat polls. But who will really get the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, that is to be seen, and in overall how much deletion takes place, that is also to be seen. This is Kamalika Sengupta with Anshuman reporting from Haldia for CNN News 18.
So it's a straightforward question, ladies and gentlemen. Is it a massive state scam in what is supposed to be a central scheme? That's the question that we are asking at this point. Let's go across to our guest this evening. Straight away dive into the debate on the Bengal PMAY scam. Priyanka Tibrewal, West Bengal BJP spokesperson with us. Riju Datta, spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress with us. Kabir Shankar Bose, Supreme Court lawyer, is also with us. And Abhijit Majumdar, consulting editor, First Post. Namaste, Jai Hind, and thank you very much for joining us here on this edition of The Right Stand. Season's greetings, compliments of the season, and advance greetings for a new year. But this new year is not happy, Abhijit Majumdar, for a lot of people. Now, look at some of the details that I have here. Pradhan, Upapradhan, influential people, people with cars, their names are all there on the list. People who have died, their names are there on the list. 17 lakh names have been deleted out of 56 lakh so far. And Baduria Chandipur Gram Panchayat list has the name of one person who's dead already. Hriday Kumar Mandal is not, he's no more. His name is still on the list. Family member says that in 2019 he died, but his name was incorporated in 2018. वो list में अभी भी है.
Yes, Anand, the most worrying part is, in a state that is really grappling with massive debt, this, end of this financial, West Bengal's debt may reach about 6 lakh crores. It is supposed to step to reach 6 lakh crores in debt. And the economy, in a place where the economy is just not working, we are seeing scam after scam after scam. I mean, from Sharada Rose Valley to, we have seen how resources and money had been completely, the CAG had raised a red flag about Amphan relief going to the wrong people, whose houses the flood waters didn't even touch, and there were allegations that TMC was